Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Minus 3.9 right now. It was colder a while ago. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a later start here at the model table because I spent a little bit of time going outside and getting the ice off my car. I have a doctor's appointment this morning, so that's going to throw a monkey wrench into our build here. I think we're going to have a Missy the dog, but I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I haven't seen the walkers yet, but they may have come by already. Now, about this box. A couple of viewers drew to my attention the fact that we have to put another one on the other side. Now, I just assumed there was only the one because in the manual here in step 25, which we are trying desperately to get through, it doesn't say make two. About the only thing it does say on it is got a little word last. In other words, it wants us to put this box on last. Okay. Now about the box. Yesterday I was talking about making like little gussets sort of things, or so it would fit on the edge. But if you look at the photograph, and I think one of the viewers alluded to that it looks like the box is slightly down and mounted on the wall of the side of the superstructure. That's what the photograph looks like. But you know what? I think I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here. If I get it a millimeter one way or the other way wrong, no one's going to notice anyway. I think the main thing is that I don't have it mounted up on the deck, up against this little control room or whatever it is. Otherwise that wouldn't look right because there is a doorway there or a hatch, and for the door to swing open, well, the box just can't be too far back on the deck or it's not going to open. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do something here and get it done. Maybe my idea of gluing sort of little gussets and try and get it right on the very edge of the like where the deck is here, and then the superstructure is here, and it looks like it's, according to the manual, it looks like it's supposed to be mounted right on this corner right here, corner to corner, and yet on the other hand, if you look at the photograph, it looks like it's sort of down a little bit on the. Anyway, what difference does it make? We're going to just go ahead and get it done, and also get that little railing done. Now, obviously, there's probably going to be, if there's a box on the other side, there's also going to be a little railing on the other side. But I'm disappointed in Trumpeter not saying make two, because if a person's set up to solder the first one, you're ready to go to solder the second one. Now, I guess there's no end to that, though, is there? I mean, why not have everything all set up and so that you can just solder all the pieces at once? But that's not the way it goes. Okay, let's just hurry up and get this done. Let's try and get done 25. That might be about all we're going to do today. Because my doctor's appointment is this morning. It took me a while to get I was surprised how much ice there was on the front windshield. I had to scrape it off with the scraper, and I'm noticing one of my windshield wipers is broken, like the rubber part. But then, as far as I know, it's the original. I don't think I ever replaced the window wipers, so those window wipers don't owe me anything. They'd be 7, 8 years old, something like that. Okay, let's get going here. Enough about the car. enough about the fact that Trumpeter's manual is not clear. Yeah, let's just get going here. I don't think there's any other news. I when I got up early this morning, I switched on the heater for my bike box. But when I was outside with the car here an hour or so ago, I realized I'm not going to want to go out with the roads and everything the way it is. You know, later this week it's supposed to warm up a little bit. That'll go out for my last few rides, maybe, all being well. But I just didn't feel like it. So I came back in and turned the heater off, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually supposed to be quite a bit warmer, probably about 10 degrees warmer than it is right now. So we'll see what happens. That'll get rid of any ice and snow that may be laying around on the road, because there is some. Oh, I did take my car out because I haven't driven it for a week. So after I got it thawed out, I took it around the block. Actually, I took it quite a ways. I drove it about probably 3 or 4 kilometers, and I wanted to get up some speed and try and get the cobwebs out of it. If you know what I mean. I think that's an old wives' tale. It's yeah. Well, no, that's not true. I think the older engines, from way back, I think that they did carbon up, and so clearing the carbon out of it or revving it up, it does sort of clear all anything that might be built up inside the cylinders. But that was back when they only turned about 100 RPM maximum. Yeah. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get at it here. Okay, I just want to do a bit of a dry run here. As near as I can tell, it's supposed to go right on the edge like that. So I think if I put some glue along this bottom rail and along this side here. Now let's see if I can do that. I'm using CA thick here, by the way. Okay, so we want to put a little along this side. No, this won't cure right away. This is the thick. It probably take about 5 minutes or more before it start to cure. Now, as near as I can tell, that's enough. Now try not to drop it, and try and get it in the right place the first time. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, that's kind of believable. I think once that's, I don't know if I should bother with curing agent or not. I'd like to maybe push it back a little bit, but I'm afraid I might knock it crooked if I try to push it back. And get it in. It looks like it's leaning back. You probably can't notice it because you're looking straight onto it, but well, I think that's gonna have to do. Yeah, I know we're gluing onto a painted surface there, and there's not a whole lot of strength going on, but it's definitely not going to. It's definitely not going to fall off all by itself. Now, as for this piece here, maybe what I'll do is I'll have it go down about 1 millimeter. Okay, well, you don't have it go down too far, because as one of the viewers mentioned, I'd be covering up the portholes on the top of the door. But somebody mentioned that it looked like these cables or whatever they are. It comes along and then it stops. And he thought that, at least this is what I think he meant, was it almost looks like that if you put this here, maybe what I could do is I could lay this on its side a little bit. Somehow I'm gonna have to rig up holder downwards or props or something, because it's just not going to stay there all by itself. Yeah, just let me recompose here. Now, yesterday, when I was editing out the episode, I was looking at this piece and I thought it almost looks like one of these little top pieces across the top here have broken out. And it did. There's this one right here. Yeah. Now let's not go breaking it off. So I'm just going to have to resolder that one. Okay, now just try and get a little bit of solder on the tip here. I don't want to put a big glob on. Okay, I can always sand that down carefully later. Yeah, this other one doesn't look like it's straight, but I'm afraid if I try to make it better, I'm going to break it loose and make it worse, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to leave well enough alone there. Okay, I'm going to very carefully here try and take the that peak that we're looking at. I can't actually see that even with the magnification hood, but if I look in the monitor, you can really see it. But anyway, let's see what's going to happen here. Go very gently. You know, I just realized I didn't turn on my spotlight here. Okay, I'm hoping that's better, not worse. At least it brought the ISO down to about 4,000. It was something like about 18,000 there for a while. Oh, that's all right, as long as we could see it, right? Oops. Guess I didn't have my clamp tightened enough. I don't want to squash this thing either. You know what? I think I'm going to have to do this off camera. Yeah. I'm just going to take it down just a little bit more than what it is there. Okay, that is somewhat better. And I don't think I accidentally broke off any of the other connections, so yeah, let's see if we can get this little part in place now. Okay, so here's the plan. I want to try and keep this on the same plane as all of this. In other words, the side of the island. Now, this has to I'm moving everything here. If I could just have it, corner to corner is going to be almost impossible without putting something along the inside that's going to run down the side of the island. But if I was to have it like that, so it's about 1 millimeter down, And if I could just glue it like that, you know. But, you know, as soon as I let go of it, it's going to fall in. So I'm going to have to build it up with shims or something on top of this part right here. I'm probably going to end up wrecking it, aren't I? If I was to use the self-locking tweezer here, maybe, it would hold it just like that. You know, that's almost perfect right there. Unless I was to use the CA quick setting and use the tweezers I've got right now, then when I let go of it, I can let go of it a little bit more gradually. Self-locking tweezers, it's very hard to let go of anything without, you know, putting force on whatever it is you're holding on to. Okay, I've got some shims here, and I've got it so that I think it's going to be pretty well level, or not level, but perpendicular. When this part is perpendicular, so will this part be. And what I want to do now is get everything just right here. Oh, try not to bump it. Now remember, okay, so we want a gap right here because there's going to be a ladder come up from right here. The idea is that you're supposed to be able to step off through here. And I want to have just enough of the bulkhead here catching our box on the side that is touching, so that when the glue or when the CA wicks its way underneath, it's going to be a good it's going to have enough of an area that it's not just going to peel off the first time somebody sneezes. Yeah, I'm going to have to maybe put on my magnification hood and see if possibly I can't go a little bit more this way. If I have it too far this way, it's going to be up on top of those three little lines that you saw, and then the bond is not going to be as good. Unless I was to use CA thick or something. But okay, let's recompose here. Okay, now let's try not to bump anything here. I've got some CA thin in here. I was going to use it right straight from the nozzle in the bottle, and I might end up having to do that yet. This doesn't seem to be picking up very much. Well, is this going to be a mistake? Okay, that's wicked its way along pretty good. You can see it sort of getting sucked in there. Okay, now a sniff of curing agent. Okay, now if I was to take hold of the self-locking tweezer here and squeeze it so that the jaws here opened up, I'd be doing a lot of shaking. So what I'm going to do is I've done this before. I'm going to use this little screwdriver, and I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to turn it very gently here. There we go. All right. We are released, and it isn't falling in, so yeah. Now, can we manage not to break that off? Okay, I believe we are finished step 25. This was the last piece. And yeah, it says last and we put it on last. Yeah, okay. If there's anything I missed, please in the comments below. I know we got a lot of pieces that are made and not painted yet, but I think we're ready to turn the page to 26. Okay, 26. Here we go. We'll be starting on that tomorrow, I guess. What time we got here? It's exactly 2:30. I'm going to call her quits here. I did go for my doctor's appointment this morning. Those of you who were intending to comment, I hope everything went well. Well, you don't need to comment. Everything went well. You know, as well as can be expected for somebody who's 79 years old. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow morning in step 26.